Hey everyone, it's Lindsay from My Crafty Plants, and today I'm going to be setting up / flipping through my February monthly setup for my bullet journal. So let's go ahead and jump in. So before we get into my February setup, I thought we could just do a quick flip through of January so you can see how everything turned out, all my weeklies and everything like that. I do post a lot of updates on my Instagram at My Crafty Plans, so if you're interested in seeing what I'm up to during the month, definitely check that out. So here's my at a glance and my notes pages. I really loved having this and using this, so I definitely want to keep this going for next month. You can see I did most of the things on my to-do list. I actually just have a couple things left. And actually, this one I took care of today, so I can check that off. But, so most of the stuff is done. Just two last things that I will either hopefully knock out today and tomorrow, or I will transition to February. But other than that, this was really helpful to have. And I actually did really like having this month at a glance thing, which I wasn't sure about last month, so I am going to keep this going for next month. I am all in on the notes page. I loved having this. I sort of turned into a shopping list, but whatever. It was really great just to have a place to jot things down, so definitely going to keep that going as well. So this was my habits, moods, and pregnancy symptoms tracker. To be honest, I'm making some changes here. I really like the moods tracker one, but like I found the habits being in all different colors instead of like going by day really difficult, and like this I honestly didn't find very useful at all, so I am just scrapping this for next month and I'm making some changes up here. On the social media side, I did really like having this as well. And I am not quite finished filling this out yet, but almost, and I am going to keep this going with a couple of little changes for next month based on how I felt about it going through the month. So next up was my Llamas Love lettering, and I have this on 3 pages. I really enjoyed doing this. It's like super easy, and this month for my theme I decided to do like freehand only, no writing things in pencil, no erasing, etc. And I really liked doing that month. It's just really great practice at doing your lettering without having to like sketch it out first in a place where it doesn't really matter if it doesn't look the best. So I'm really happy with that. These words were insane this month, and I'm looking forward to not having to flip back and forth to check the spellings 7,000 times. Like, how do you even say this? I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, still gonna keep that going through February.
So if you watched my January setup video, you'll know that this should be my Oh So Cute Doodles page. However, that just didn't happen this month, so I didn't want to leave that blank, so I just pasted over it with a watercolor that I did for practice, watercoloring some mountains, and then I just hand lettered with my Tombow brush pen over that quote from Dr. Seuss from Oh, the Places You'll Go. And I really my favorite Dr. Seuss book. I think this turned out pretty well. I've been practicing doing watercoloring a little bit, but I am still quite new at it.
So then this was my first week in January spread, which you saw me like start to set up, and then I just got like so sick. Tuesday I felt fine, and then Wednesday all of a sudden I was just like awful, so pretty much didn't do anything in here, didn't get anything done, didn't really do anything. My husband had to take off work all week to like help with our daughter, and it was a whole mess. Anyway, so I stopped let go of the bullet journal for that day, and then I had an extra page because I like my week to be on 2 pages. And I just decided to swatch my zebra mild liners here. So I have 3 sets, not the super rare set, but I have all the rest of them. And I think this turned out pretty cute. If I ever find the other set, I can add it in.
So for this next week, I decided to try sketching out the whole week in advance instead of going day by day. And I actually super loved having that and being able to like write things in a few days ahead, etc. So I did keep that going throughout the month, and like the actual layout has kind of evolved over the month of January, and I've been really feeling great about my weekly spreads. I do post them every Monday on my Instagram at mycraftyplans. So here you can see some of that evolution I was talking about. I added in more sort of boxes in the front part, one for next week where I could like make notes of things that needed to be on my mind for next week, and also keeping it going with a list of things I needed to remind my husband, and like a little section for notes as well, all of which I've really liked and kept going. So I stuck with the same layout for this week, and then just went all in on the Valentine's Day sort of February theme decorations. I was like already looking at all this February inspo at this point to get all of my stuff set up for this month. So I just was really feeling that. The washi is from the Planner Society December kit, and I just really love how this looks. Okay, so now we're ready to get into my February setup. Here you can see me setting up my color page, using my Tombow dual brush pens and my Crayola Super Tips, going all in on hearts and flowers and tons of pink for February. I am just really feeling it this year.
So I really wanted my February cover page to be on the right side. I like my cover pages to be on the right. So I decided to use this last page that was in between for a collection, and I decided to add in an Instagram follower milestone tracker. I've just been getting so much love lately on Instagram, which I'm so happy about, so thank you for your support. And I just decided to add in a little milestone tracker. I kept the hearts actually really big on this, and it sort of matches the cover page. But anyway, once I make it all the way to 700 followers, I can start a new tracker. The lettering here, the hearts are drawn, and the lettering in the dark is done in my Tombow dual brush pen. The 755, which is from my Galaxy pack, and then the lighter writing, and I'll be coloring all of the hearts in with my Crayola Super Tips. So then here is my February at a glance and my ideas, notes, and thoughts page. I loved having this for January, so I really just wanted to keep it going for this month. And then I just changed up a little bit. I decided to do my like big picture, big to-dos inside little hearts. So I'll put out all my to-dos for the month and then just check off like the big picture things that I have, and I really liked having this last month. I did a bunch in the beginning of the month and then added to it as the month went on. And then I also just have my sort of monthly thing. And I actually really didn't like this that much like when I started doing it in December, but I found it really helpful last month. I put like things that are smaller than like something that I would include in my Erin Condren monthly spread. So I'm going to do that again for this month. It was actually really nice having that. So I am a convert to having this in my bullet journal. And then this, oh my gosh, I used this so much in January, so I really liked having it. Most of it ended up being about like Etsy things to buy. Oops, I did end up buying so much stuff. But anyway, I will just keep that going as well. So next up, I have my habit tracker. And this I decided to change up from last month. I found a couple of things really challenging about sticking with the habit tracker. I really like the mood tracker and just like that green, yellow, red system. But so this month, because I want to keep everything in kind of like that pink family, I'm gonna go with
light to dark pink, which I realize I forgot to add it in, so I'm just going to quickly color that in right now. And these are Crayola Super Tips that I'm using to color in.
So that is going to be my mood scale from happy to sad. And again, I just have like overall happiness level, how I am feeling stress-wise, and how I am feeling like physically. I got rid of the pregnancy symptom tracker. I just like wasn't feeling it. It was super not that useful to me. So I just decided not to do that again. And for the habits, what I'm going to do this month is every day I'm just going to color in all of them that I do in the same shade of pink. It was too much to do, having to like constantly switch pens and color the little box. So I'm just going to go straight down, well, hopefully straight down if I do everything, and then just leave it blank if I don't do it. So then I had a lot of space left on the page, and I like thought about what to do, but I just decided to do a sort of Valentine's Day quote.
So I picked "With You I Am Home," and that pretty much sums up how I feel about love, and that is done in my Tombow dual brush pen. So for my social media tracker, it's mostly the same, although I went a little bit more decorative and themey this month. The only thing that I really switched up was I added in a separate, like, did I post on Instagram, and a separate space for Instagram ideas, because I just didn't like how that was working last month.
So this is my Llama's Love letterings, which I've again put on 3 pages. I am so excited that I can like spell most of these words this month, and I won't have to hopefully flip back and forth all the time. Like February 1st, the word is hello. Hopefully I can spell that correctly without having to look it up. But anyway, I kept it going with like the different thicknesses of the lines, and for right now my plan is to just freehand letter everything instead of sketching it out in pencil first for that practice. So with February being like a slightly shorter month, and also just how I did the spacing, I ended up with like a big thing of extra space. So I decided to just make this like an extra practice space where I can do any sort of words that I want to try over, or just, practice lettering any other words.
So then I did have an extra page before I start my weekly, since I like my weekly on 2 pages, and I just decided to swatch my growing collection of Tombow dual brush pens. I will definitely be picking up some more Tombows and adding to this, so let me know if you have a favorite pack down in the comments below that I should be checking out. So then finally, here's my first week in February setup. It's the same basic setup I was using in January, with my 3 blocks for big to-dos, next week thoughts, and my list for my husband. And then I did just swap my notes to the right side and add 2 days on Monday and Tuesday on the left side, and that was to make space for more decorations, but I don't really like that, and I will probably be switching it back for next week. I really added in a lot of flowers, and then I got sick of doing them like halfway through, so they got a little messy. So I think I'm going to try and do something a little bit more, go back to doing a little bit more simple for next week. So the only other thing I will add for this week is Go Eagles.
So that is everything for my February setup. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. I'd love it if you subscribed, and definitely check me out on Instagram at mycraftyplans so you can keep up to date with what I am doing in my bullet journal throughout the month. Bye!